Thank you very much. So my presentation will be focusing on chapter 7, which is Ubuntu and social development in Africa. And I think you have quite covered a lot in terms of the introduction, and we are also aware of the support that he has been put in place for the effectiveness of this, for the completion of the book. So I'm looking at the Ubuntu is an African philosophy that emphasizes collectivism, justice, respect, empathy, spirituality, and interconnectedness. So, as you have already highlighted, we have Ubuntu that has been neglected for quite some time. This is an African philosophy that we, as African communities, have to recognize. Um, can you hear me clearly? I think I'm having some issues.
Yes, there's some chattering, but can hear you.
Yeah. Let me just remove my headphones, I think.
It's better
So
now.
we have Ubuntu as an African philosophy having been neglected for quite some time. And I think that's a philosophy that we are now trying to reclaim as Africans and those societies on the African soil and outside the African continent, but with African heritage, looking at the principles that I have highlighted in terms of collectivism, justice, reciprocity, respect, empathy, spirituality, and interconnectedness. We have some of these principles neglected for quite some time, but now it's high time that we consider the importance of those principles in ensuring that we have effective social development. As I've highlighted or indicated, Ubuntu principles are at the center of social development. We have social development being identified as an important aspect of all human lives. And for us to achieve that, it's not about economic growth for a country, but we are looking at social development. We are looking at the importance of social solidarity. We are looking at the active participation. We are looking at the community engagement, and we are looking at how best we as Africans can ensure that we embrace those ones. So I'm looking at the Ubuntu as a recipe for social development. And for us to achieve social development, I've highlighted aspects of things that we need to consider very important in terms of collectivism, wherein we are looking at Africans as a unity or African communities. We are kind of united, and we return to it. We have gotten something that's reciprocity. We have mutual support. We have respect for each other. We consider the aspects of spirituality and interconnectedness. So we have considered these as recipes or kind of a recipe for social development. If you can go to the last slide. I think, okay. Thank you very much. So I've also considered Ubuntu Power concept as a framework for Ubuntu-oriented social work practice. I think you have touched on it, Dr. Gary, on the Ubuntu Power that was proposed by Archbishop Desmond Tutu in 2005, and it was looking into sharing, generosity, community, reflecting the values of Ubuntu. And I have considered this as a framework for Ubuntu-oriented social work practice. I have also considered the concept as a unique approach to social development. I think you have already touched on the key aspects of Ubuntu Power. I also did happen to come up with the Ubuntu cycle, which Dr. Gariev kind of projected earlier in 2022, wherein I put into perspective how can we ensure that the Ubuntu power is used as a key concept for social development. I also included that when you are looking at the Ubuntu power as a concept, how are we going to achieve that? We're looking at the problem selection. This one, it's about identifying the social needs and ensure that we have the priorities in place. We are also looking at the concept of involving the people in everything that we do, from problem identification and priorities in social policy. We are looking at agenda setting, wherein we have to involve people in the agenda setting. The more we don't involve them, the less effective those interventions can be. It's like we have garbage in, garbage out. But when you involve them, I think you are kind of destined to have an effective intervention. We are looking at planning. Also, we are developing case plans that address the identified needs. We are looking at intervention, ensuring that we implement those plans which meet the developmental needs of the people in the community, and that can come up through the community development approach. We are also using the PAGE system in different communities, in different nations, in different continents. I also touched on the feedback and evaluation, where we are assessing the effectiveness of those interventions and determining the next step. So that's why I have considered this as a unique approach to social development, because it puts people at the center of planning, put the community at the center of planning, rather than the residual or remedial social work that we have, wherein the worker or the practitioner is considered an expert in everything and is at the center. Here we are replacing an expert at the center with the Ubuntu power. In terms of everything that we do, we have to have the community is at the center of everything we do, for us to develop more effective and sustainable intervention that addresses the complex needs of African communities within and without the African continent. Next slide. Yeah, so in terms of key reflections on the whole book, I have looked into this guide as a reflection or reflexivity of the African Renaissance, wherein as Africans, we want to reclaim our heritage. How can we reclaim our heritage if it's not in writing? We also want to promote our values, our beliefs, our culture, and also our institutions. We have a lot of those pioneers, those philosophers, great thinkers that are out there, those that are living and those that are late, who have contributed a lot to the social work field, but that has not been documented. Some of them have long been forgotten. But as Africans, we have now the duty to ensure that we reclaim that heritage, not only for the Africans, but also for those that resonates with our own culture, those that can borrow from us. I've also looked into the global application and internationalization of this book. It's not only that we are looking at the African communities or Africa as a continent, but we are also looking at those that have an African cultural heritage. We are also looking at those that resonates with the African culture, the African values, the African principles, and also looking at the marketing of those values, marketing of that culture, and how best it can be used in other continents. I have considered the internationalization of Ubuntu in many countries. We have Canada, we have Australia, we have even the United Kingdom. And so we have lots of principles, we have lots of values that they are now seeing the importance of them, considering the global majority and how best it can be used to promote effective interventions. And we have noted that in practice, wherein we have systemic practice taking toll in terms of meeting the needs of children and families that we work with. I've also taken note of my authoring experience since 2021. I think it was kind of a long journey, but insightful indeed, wherein we're trying by all means to wire the previous and contemporary information. It's not only addressing the needs of the generation that we have at the moment, but we are also trying to ensure that we meet the needs of the future generations and also strengthen that intergenerational solidarity through our writing. And we also take note that this book was as a result of lived experiences of the authors, wherein when we're looking at how best we were able to put everything that we had in our minds in writing, we consider that the authors were coming from different countries. We have from Botswana, we have from Zimbabwe, we have from Tanzania, all over the world, and other practitioners or authors, they are based in different countries, and some have lived in more than 2 countries. So that was very important in coming up with this guide. So my message to everyone here present is to ensure that we do take on board the importance of the power of collaboration and perseverance. As I have said, that it has been 4 good years of trying to ensure that we put together whatever we have, we reflect, and we also revise to meet the needs of the current generation, the future generations, and ensure that we speak our mind through writing. And I can safely say that anyone can do it. We have borrowed a lot from the mentors previously, and we also want to encourage and motivate everyone here present that it can be done. It only needs commitment.